overall, the country, building on these and building on some of the very right reform measures in the financial sector, banking, but also in capital market, where corporate governance is being strengthened, banking, overall bank resolution ordinance is being strengthened, capital market, which has a committee, banking, which has a reform committee, and multiple other technical committees are all looking into immediate further reforms to bring back the financial sector to a very steady and robust growth path. With the reciprocal Trump tariff, Bangladesh has now landed in a much, it is an additional cost, but Bangladesh has managed to land in a more convenient or not in a disadvantaged position at a minimum vis-a-vis its competitors. Housing finance, extremely important. This is a big market, 6 million housing units unmet demand, and this is going to rise to 10 million housing units. And our friends from Singapore are already looking into, and some other countries, into housing market and housing infrastructure development, a big opportunity to facilitate the long-term finance to support that. I will take 2 more minutes, my respected chair, because I think I'm just over the time. Strategic investment opportunities, the door has opened now through merger and acquisitions. Why do I say that? Over the last 1 year, the macro is stabilizing. If you look at our balance of payment, we are moving to surplus in current account, but also in the overall balance of payment. Our foreign exchange, which had a 40% depreciation until May 2024 for 3 years, it's been stable since last September. And our foreign reserve is on a rebound from $18 billion BPM, the net method, it is now back to 25 billion. It needs to get stronger, but it is on a recovery path. And there is rates impact, a rising interest rate or high interest rate has made, they have made the values depressed. So right time to enter, right time to do the deal. There is manufacturing distress, particularly in some sectors like textile, ready-made garments, due to high leverage of some big investors, but also absence or dislocation of some of the investors for political and many other reasons. But overall, the country, building on these and building on some of the very right reform measures in the financial sector, banking, but also in capital market, where corporate governance is being strengthened, banking, overall bank resolution ordinance is being strengthened, capital market, which has a committee, banking, which has a reform committee, and multiple other technical committees are all looking into immediate further reforms to bring back the financial sector to a very steady and robust growth path. And if you look at 2 of the 3 top rating agencies around the world, S&P, Standard & Poor, and Fitch, despite one of the largest, one of the most intense mass uprising in the history of Asia and world, and some subsequent very natural dislocations, Bangladesh's rating over the last 12 months remains unchanged by S&P as well as by Fitch. Moody's, yes, it has gone 1 step down, but I'm confident this year this is going to come back. But that's 2 out of 3 who still puts their confidence in Bangladesh's growth, and this is where you have a great opportunity to come into Bangladesh's investment space through strategic investment. So macro I've already mentioned, so I will just skip. Is it all that great and there is no challenge, no worries? Not at all. There are worries, and which we need to address. I've mentioned some high-level imperatives that Bangladesh must rise up to: diversification, competitiveness improvement, post-LDC global competition. How do we prepare for that? But there are some inherent challenges in the investment climate and the trade facilitation environment. So we need to improve our port efficiencies. Border clearance is complex, needs to be easier. Logistic cost compared to Vietnam, Thailand, India, higher. We need to make it more competitive. In the power energy, the gas, again, due to man-made failure in energy policies between 2016 and 2024, we have become more reliant than we should have been on imported energy, right? However, we are managing it, but it is it became a little bit of a strain in the year of 23-24 when we were trying to fix, or we were still dealing with the macro, particularly the dollar reserve issue, but the energy infrastructure and supply and the energy security needs to be better. Productivity is something Bangladesh needs to improve. Skills and technology will be important. Overall regulatory predictability, addressing complex and unpredictable at times, taxation are going to be some of the important areas for Bangladesh. So building on that, I want to say Bangladesh, it has proven it's shock-proof through global financial crisis, through the governance challenges of our own in the past years, through the mass uprising and the post-mass uprising, the economy, the exports continue to remain robust. The location I mentioned, competitive and smart labor, governance coming back to a sort of Asia standard level, if not global, which is going to be a key part of that. And building on that, Bangladesh can prioritize positioning its investment value proposition in light of the shifting global strengths, rising global strengths such as governance, but also in light of the shifting global trade and geo-economic fracturing. As you know, with the reciprocal Trump tariff, Bangladesh has now landed in a much, it is an additional cost, but Bangladesh has managed to land in a more convenient or not in a disadvantaged position at a minimum vis-a-vis its competitors. Bangladesh can accelerate its public-private participation, PPP investment opportunities, as well as privatization opportunities, where models like South American privatization can offer really great insights and lessons for our policymakers.